This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Waking up to a lot of rain and a whole lot of traffic issues to talk about, too. So Rob will fill us in on that.
I think this is an excuse for people to roll over, call into work, go back to sleep.
Yeah, I like that if you can get away with it.
If you're one of those people who work from home, shout out to you for being able to just cuddle back up and get a little bit. But for the rest of us who have to get out and about, grab the rain gear. You're going to need it. We're continuing to watch more of these showers pushing through. A lot of that rain right now along and north of 64, so from Frankfurt to Shelbyville to LaGrange, getting in on some of that light to moderate rain with some pockets of heavy rain embedded in it. Now in the metro, it's mainly light to moderate showers showing up from Hillview to Mount Washington and over towards Linden and Prospects, right along 71 in between the Snyder and the Waterson is where we're getting in on some light to moderate showers. Heavier rain showing up from Clark County to Borden to Palmyra and all the way up towards Paoli and Jasper. So we'll keep an eye on that. Leavenworth, you're also getting in on those showers. Same thing in the southern portions of Wave Country, especially towards Columbia. So as we head over the next 12 hours, notice, yes, those rain chances not going anywhere, keeping things pretty scattered overall, but still going to watch for additional rounds of showers and thunderstorms through the morning into the afternoon with breaks in between. Some of these thunderstorms as we get into the afternoon and evening can produce some very heavy rainfall and even some gusty winds. So we'll watch for that. But honestly, Rob, we haven't seen much rain so far as we start off the day, and we're already dealing with plenty.
We are, absolutely. So we have to keep a watch out there and slow down. We're talking about the area around I-71 North at 264. We're actually going to give you a shot right now of the Brownsboro camera that we have out there, a report of a one-car crash. This is only breaking out about 15 minutes ago, but you see the taillights backing up there. The right shoulder is going to be blocked out there for a little while. So really give yourself a lot of extra time and patience out on the road. We keep the windshield wipers on low and the headlights on low as well. Also cleaning up a two-car crash from about an hour ago. That's just finishing up at Fern Valley Road out there. So again, take your time out there and really make sure that you give yourself a lot of extra distance between you, the vehicles in front of you and back of you as well. We'll keep an eye on things throughout the morning. Olivia, back over to you though.
Yeah, please be safe out there. Thank you, Rob. For the first time since 3 men were sentenced for their roles in the disappearance of Crystal Rogers and presumed murder, we're now hearing from her family. Crystal's grandfather, Till Ballard, sat down exclusively with Wave News. He says he's still looking for answers that were not revealed during the trials. Over the past 10 years, he said he's always worked to keep Crystal's name in the public conversation, hoping to find out exactly what happened to her. A week ago, Brooks Houck, who was dating Rogers at the time, was sentenced to life in prison for her murder, and father and son, Stephen and Joseph Lawson, were convicted and sentenced to years in prison. Till says he doesn't feel justice, though, because Rogers' body has not been found, and he wants answers about what happened to his son, Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard, who was shot and killed while hunting on family property in 2016. No one's been arrested in that case.
Where do you find happiness?
Well, really, you can't find too much happiness until Crystal's found and Tommy's murder is found. And then it won't be no happiness, really, because it'd be a lot of sadness.
Houck's brother Nick, along with his mother, Rosemary Houck, have been labeled unindicted co-conspirators by prosecutors in Crystal's case. They have never been arrested or charged in connection to it. We have an extended look at our exclusive interview with Till Ballard coming up at 7:30.
Butler County Sheriff's deputies want help if you have any information that can help solve a homicide that's nearly 2 years old. Detectives say tips into Patricia England's death could give them the momentum they need. Her body was found on Highway 1020 near Brooks Station Road back in 2023. Investigators say she was shot several times. England was originally from Wisconsin, but deputies say she had been living near Rhineyville, Kentucky when she was killed. You can call the number at the bottom of your screen to leave an anonymous tip.
Today, we expect to hear more testimony in the murder trial of a man accused of killing a construction worker and shooting an LMPD officer. Prosecutors say Keyshawn Stewart shot and killed Fred O'Bannon at a construction site on a Dixie Highway overpass in November 2021. They say he then shot LMPD Sergeant Chris Lane in the face, and the bullet broke his jaw in 3 different places and shattered several teeth. Lane took the stand yesterday and described what happened after getting shot.
How did that work? Yes, he fired through my window. And when I kind of came back to, my car was rolling backwards up the ramp, and he was attempting to break my window out with his gun.
What did you do then?
At that point, I stomped the gas, and the car shot backward up the interstate.
During opening statements, Stewart's lawyers say they want to challenge the jury to think critically about the case.
LMPD is looking to partner with local gun owners to help crack down on stolen guns. It's called Save a Casing. LMPD is asking gun owners to save a used shell casing after firing their weapons at a shooting range. That way, if the gun is ever stolen, they can submit the casing to LMPD, who might be able to trace the gun back. Casings act like fingerprints, and they'll let investigators know if that gun has been used in another crime.
This is not a tracking system or database for legal gun owners. We are not taking anything with us. We're not taking any shell casings. Even if folks offer shell casings, we're not taking those with us. So gun owners would take those, store those separately, and then in the event that they ever had a firearm stolen, they could then turn those in when they're making the police report.
It's free to participate in that program.
The first Save a Casing event is at Next Level Ranges Gun Range off Blankenbaker Parkway. This Saturday, LMPD will be there from 10 until 4. You can learn more about the program on the department's website.
Artificial intelligence only growing in popularity and everyday use. Now the University of Kentucky is taking that one step further.
Last week, school leaders gave the green light to offer the university's first artificial intelligence major. Rob is back with details on this program. Rob?
Yeah, Shannon, this is exciting. I had a chance to speak with UK's head of engineering. You could really see and even feel the excitement for the plan that'll launch next fall. He said interest is high in the AI major, which will offer a Bachelor of Science degree. Dr. Brent Harrison shared with me that his department, along with UK Board of Trustees, have been discussing the idea now for more than about a year. While the campus has offered several AI-related courses, it's never really had a full-blown major dedicated to it. Now, if all goes as planned, that'll change beginning next academic year.
We've also seen from employers, both locally and across the country, there's been this big shift over the last few years to focus on employees that have at least some sort of AI competency. And so what we're doing here, what we hope to do here, is really prepare our students to go graduate, enter into the workforce, and just immediately be productive.
Dr. Harrison added that UK has offered certificates in AI training in the past. He also added that he's received a lot of phone calls about interest from brand new students heading to UK next fall, but also current undergraduates who say they now want to switch their major to focus on artificial intelligence. He said while the Commonwealth is becoming a nationally known state for AI studies and development, he hopes that those students who actually receive bachelors in the program from UK stay in the state and help to create new jobs and companies for years to come. Shannon?
Thanks, Rob. Today, state leaders will highlight the work being done to stop childhood cancer in Kentucky. First Lady Brittany Bashir and state lawmakers, including Senate Majority Leader Max Wise, will be visiting the UK Markey Cancer Center. The center has received grants from the Kentucky Pediatric Cancer Research Trust Fund. The fund has raised more than $36 million into cancer research and care since 2015, and September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month.
Metro Councilwoman Tammy Hawkins is hosting a meeting tonight where neighbors living in her district can tell her their top concerns. Hawkins is hosting that community meeting at 5:30 at the Signature venue on Lions Arms Drive. Hawkins says representatives from the Codes and Regulations, LMPD, and TARC will be there to answer questions and hear concerns from the community. That meeting is open to anyone living in District 1.
Jimmy Kimmel back on the airwaves as of last night. What he said in his monologue and how he responded to that suspension. Get ready for a big block party this weekend, and you don't even have to live in the neighborhood.
Yeah, Nulu hosting its 15th annual Nulu Fest, celebrating all that growth and revitalization in the area. Wave News reporter Kirsten Flood joining us live from Nulu this morning. Good morning, Kirsten.
Hey guys, good morning to you. We're at the Hilton Tempo here, down here in Nulu, and I'm joined by Patrick Cook. Patrick, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hello, yes.
You guys are going to have some fun food specials going on this weekend for Nulu Fest. Tell me about what we have here.
Awesome, yeah, so we're going to kick things off with our monthly drag brunch series. We have those once a month, and this month it just happens to fall on Nulu Fest, so we thought we'll go big with this. We've got bread and butter vineyards coming, so we'll have sangria specials, mimosa specials, you know, and our fantastic brunch menu available as well. Then we'll kick off into our happy hour. It starts at 4, and during that happy hour we can go ahead and get some of these wonderful new menu items that were created by our executive chef and our executive sous chef.
Yeah, tell me about these right here.
Yeah, so this is our take on a lobster roll, but it's shrimp.
Oh my gosh,
so
fun.
It's a shrimp roll.
Ooh, cool.
Brioche buns that were handcrafted for us by S'mores Bakery. And then over here we've got our smash burger, 2 all beef patties smashed again with a custom-made brioche bun from S'mores Bakery. We stamp it just so you know where you're eating. And then we got garlic parmesan fries, and then our rooftop wings, which seems to be our biggest hit. We've got sweet chili, buffalo, and a hot honey. These are toasted or topped with toasted sesame seeds, you know, and then you get your celery and carrots.
I know some people at the station who love wings, and you guys have been open for a little over a year now. What's it been like to be part of the Nulu community?
It's been fantastic. You know, it's so wonderful to be part of a community that, like, you see not only guests at night, but in the morning when I'm walking to work, people are out walking around like, oh, hey, I saw you you last night. Oh, hey, hi. And they're doing their walks and stuff. So it's been real great.
That's awesome. Okay, so you guys will be open during Nulu Fest on Saturday. Nulu Fest is 11 to 8 down on the 600 to 900 blocks in the East Market District here. But you don't have to be a guest to come here and enjoy all the food, enjoy all the fun. What's your message to people to want to come out?
Come out. If you're hungry and you're thirsty, we've got the spot for you. We've got a DJ Saturday night as well. Starts playing at 5. House music, great food, great cocktails.
Awesome.
Have fun. Beautiful views of Nulu and downtown.
Yeah, really, really pretty. We had to kind of stay a little bit dry with our camera inside, but really pretty views of downtown Louisville from here. Patrick, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Really appreciate it. Shane and Olivia, back to you guys.
Thank you, Kirsten, and thank you for that shout out when she said people at the station who love wings. That was me. Well, fall officially started this week, which means Halloween is quickly approaching.
And for those who love coffee, Starbucks getting into the spirit of the season. They have their new spooky drinkware out. 5 limited edition cups and tumblers with glow-in-the-dark finishes and 3D textures, too. As you can see, they come in lots of different colors, range in price from $15 to $30.
And they've already, they've had their fall menu out for the past month.
Pumpkin spice latte already.
I'm getting in the fall spirit because of Starbucks.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah. I love my pumpkin cream cold brew.
Right.
So wings and pumpkin cream cold brew. That'll make for the perfect breakfast, right?
I don't know. My stomach just made a weird sound just thinking about that.
That's because it's hungry and it wants some wings and Starbucks.
I really want the fries. That's what I want. Those fries look so good. So, hey, for anybody heading out to Nulu Fest this weekend, the weather's going to be fantastic for all of that. But first, we got to deal with all of this. That's rain that continues to push through our region because of the front that's off towards our west and northwest. We're going to keep an eye on that front drifting into our region as the day goes along. For right now, though, we're just talking about those scattered showers with some pockets of heavy rain embedded in that. Thankfully, a lot of the heaviest rain has stayed out of the metro, but still causing some issues outside of Louisville as well. So from Frankfort into Shelby County and over into Oldham County, we're seeing moderate to heavy rain. Same thing from Clark County through Borden up towards Salem, Patoka Lake, and even towards Du Bois, getting in on that. Some more of that heavy rain right along 64 from Corydon over towards Leavenworth. Now in the metro, we're seeing a light to moderate rainfall from Valley Station through Shively and up in area, and same thing for those of you right along Bardstown Road and Fern Creek. Now, some additional scattered showers starting to move into our Kentucky counties. For those of you from Litchfield to Greensburg to Columbia, you're also seeing some moderate rainfall in your region. Temperatures not too shabby, sitting in the 60s and low 70s to start off the day. And we're going to do our very, very best to warm up, but it doesn't look like we're going to get very far because of the clouds, because of the rain. This is why we're only looking at highs this afternoon in the mid to upper 70s. As we get into the afternoon, we'll keep these scattered showers around, some thunderstorms as well, and we can keep some of that heavy rain embedded in some of these thunderstorms as we head through the afternoon. My concern is some of the rainfall tracking over the same spots. That's something that the modeling has started to pick up for the afternoon and evening. And if that pans out, we could run into a localized flooding situation, and we may have to have a flood watch issued by the National Weather Service. So we'll keep an eye on that. Some more of that rain showing up for the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning. We have the marginal risk of severe weather for those of you basically along and south of the parkways, with damaging winds the main concern there, along with the heavier rainfall. So for more of that rain, we have to look no further than later on tonight. That will take back over our region then, and we'll keep those rounds of moderate to heavy rain through the early morning hours and into your morning commute. Then we get past that point towards 10, 11 o'clock. Rain chances start to drop off in terms of how widespread they are, but they don't completely go away. We still will see some of these scattered showers lingering through the afternoon and evening. And while some of you see some scattered showers for the second half of your Thursday, others could get a little bit of some sunshine coming your way, and some of you will see both for the second half of your Thursday. So keep that in mind. We look to finally fully dry out for all of Wave Country for late Thursday night into early on Friday morning. So between now and then, we can add on additional 1 to 3 inches of rainfall across our area. With that much rain on already saturated ground, we can run into some issues with flooding here and there. So just keep that in mind. If you see the drains in your neighborhood maybe not completely working properly, just make sure you either let crews know or maybe try to clear that out yourself so you don't end up with flooding issues getting worse in your area. Now, getting into the weekend, here's what we have going on. Highs in the upper 70s and low 80s for both Saturday and Sunday. We are going to watch an area of low pressure off towards our east on Sunday. That could throw some extra clouds. and even the potential for a few spotty showers for the second half of Sunday into portions of Monday. Overall, those rain chances not looking super impressive as of right now, but we're continuing to monitor that. And for most of next week, pretty decent weather in our forecast with highs near 80 degrees and quite a bit of sunshine. Shannon, Olivia.
Thank you. Jimmy Kimmel back on the air. He used his return last night to defend free speech, and the episode marks the end of his suspension.
Amy Kiley has more on his return and what's next for some groups who are refusing to air the talk show.
Anyway, as I was saying before I was interrupted.
Jimmy Kimmel Live is back after a nearly week-long suspension. Disney says it objected to the host's comments after Charlie Kirk's murder. Kimmel addresses that in his return monologue.
I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever.
Kimmel's also defending free speech with humor.
The guy in Germany offered me a job. Can you imagine? This country has become so authoritarian. The Germans are like, come here.
Some repeat audience members say this taping felt different.
There was a gravity, but also happiness of just being back.
Disney says it lifted the suspension after, quote, thoughtful conversations with Jimmy. Critics claim it originally caved to President Donald Trump. He says Kimmel's return on ABC, quote, puts the network in jeopardy. He adds, quote, we're going to test ABC out on this. Sinclair and Nexstar Media are continuing to preempt the show on their stations. The FCC chair applauds them for what he calls standing up to a national programmer. The preemptions are a financial hit for Disney. Some analysts say a boycott from Kimmel fans would have been worse.
Money was the impetus for the first decision and pulling Jimmy Kimmel off the air, and money is the impetus for returning him.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Coming up, a new class of Kentucky sports legends entering the Hall of Fame. We'll tell you who was inducted after the break.
The local nonprofit 270 in Elizabethtown is hosting a weekly event. It's called Whiskey Wednesdays, and you can win a grand prize bourbon bottle of Eagle Rare 25. It raises money for supporting organizations and initiatives in Central Kentucky. So every Wednesday, Give 270 goes live on its Facebook and YouTube channel with a raffle on some rare collectible bottles of bourbon. Tickets are $5. Each ticket gives you 5 chances to win every week. You can get those tickets until the start of the first raffle, which is at 8 o'clock tonight.
A new batch of Kentucky sports legends now have a spot in the state's Sports Hall of Fame. Wave News sports director Kendrick Haskins emceed the induction ceremony at the Expo Center last night. This year's class included 4 members: former UK football star Randall Cobb, former U of L gymnastics coach Carol Leitke, former UK star basketball player Tayshaun Prince, and female trap shooter Nora Martin Ross.
You know, I always thought about, the greats, and the greats, they end up in the Hall of Fame. The greats, they win championships. And that was always something that I hoped for, but I never thought that, that this time would come.
Wow. I mean, it's just so exciting because it's among people who have done so much and have played such a part in all sports. So for the Kentucky Sports Commission to pick me, it was just very exciting.
You don't dream of things like this. You don't envision things like this happening. So when the day and the moment comes, you don't know how to receive it. But I think after the fact is when it kind of sets in.
It's just very special because this is something that with what I do is not really like what everybody else is on the wall. So it's really something special for me because me being a trap shooter to be honored with somebody or everybody that's has their picture on the wall here. Yeah, it's awesome.
A big congratulations to everyone who was inducted. We'll be right back.
This Wave News update is sponsored by Oxmoor Auto Group.
And good morning to you. It is now 7:26. If you're heading out on the roadways, you're really going to want to pack a lot of patience and extra time out there this morning. Still keeping our eye right behind us at I-65. This is at Fern Valley Road. This was a 2-car crash seen about an hour ago. Things moving along a lot smoother out there, but that was quite a mess out there earlier. The cameras are moving to give us a wider shot of that right now, but certainly some tie-ups you see up there in the far part of the screen as well. Also, cleanup still continues. We're talking about I-71 North at I-264. That was a 1-car crash about 25, maybe 30 minutes ago. That's still being cleaned up out in that area as well. So there are a lot of traffic lights out there. This is the area off Westport Road. You see the really looks like, at least in that area, like the rain may be kind of adding to some of the headaches out there. So give yourself a lot of extra time. Keep the windshield wipers on low and the lights on as well on your car, and we'll keep an eye on things throughout the morning. Tawana, let's send it over to you for now.
Thank you so much, Rob. What we're seeing this morning, as you mentioned, that rain coming down, making traffic slow. Thankfully, we're not seeing a lot of heavy rain widespread across the area, but we are dealing with some pockets of it here and there. Notice those showers stretch from Franklin County through Spencer and Shelby County all the way into Orange and Du Bois County, right along and north of 64, with some of the heaviest rain right along 65 from near Vienna all the way south towards Sellersburg, and right along 64 for those of you in Harrison County. That does stretch into portions of Floyd County as well. Now in the metro, light to moderate rain showing up for right now. Some additional scattered showers from near E-Town to Litchfield and over towards Columbia as well. As we continue over the next 12 hours, going to keep these scattered showers, a couple of thunderstorms in our forecast through the morning and afternoon. We'll get some breaks in between the rounds of rain as temperatures eventually climb into the 70s for afternoon highs.
Good morning and happy Wednesday to you. Thanks so much for sticking with us here for Sunrise Extra. We have a lot to get to this morning because we'll get a preview looking ahead to a look back in our archives. We'll talk to Marissa Burke about Wave Rewind. Plus, we have that full interview with the grandfather of Crystal Rogers. Myra Ansari sat down with him, so we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But first, two more men are facing charges for a deadly 2023 shooting that happened in Louisville. LMPD tells us the fugitive unit arrested Hansard and Deontay Howard yesterday. Both are facing murder-related charges. Police arrested Malik Johnson earlier this month for his alleged actions in the shooting in the PRP neighborhood. Police say they all played a role in the death of Monte Robinson. Robinson was found shot on Leverett Lane on January of 2023. He was rushed to the hospital but died days later. Police say they believe everyone responsible for Robinson's death is now in custody. Johnson is the only defendant with an upcoming court date, and that is set for November. The Trump administration has launched an internal investigation into FEMA employees who warned that the disaster agency was at risk. As part of the probe, the agency has ordered the employees to sign non-disclosure agreements and schedule interviews with investigators. The employees had signed a public letter to Congress warning that the administration's overhaul of the disaster relief agency is undermining emergency response. More than 180 current and former FEMA staffers signed that letter. The Secret Service traced a surge of swatting threats against American government officials back to a 35-mile area around New York City. Special agents seized more than 100,000 SIM cards and 300 servers that could have crippled cell towers and inhibited emergency responses in New York. Officials briefed on the investigation say the electronic safe houses surrounded New York City's cellular network infrastructure. The electronic maze was powerful enough to send an encrypted and anonymous text to every person in the United States within just 12 minutes.
It could have flooded the cellular systems with volume, basically a denial of service attack that would have made other calls not able to get through. And when you try to trace that back to who's behind it with 100,000 SIM cards, that's 100,000 different phone numbers you're trying to sort through to figure out, well, which ones do we block? It would have been a stunning attack.
There's no specific information indicating the network was a threat to this week's UN General Assembly meeting. No arrests have been announced in this case. The IRS announced checks will no longer be in the mail for tax refunds. The change is a result of an executive order which mandates all federal payments must transition to electronic methods. Officials say the change is designed to protect taxpayers as well as speed up the refund process. The IRS says taxpayers should continue to file their returns as they normally would. The IRS also reports during the 2025 tax filing season, 93% of refunds to individual income tax filers were issued through direct deposit. At a press conference this week, President Donald Trump claimed there's a link between acetaminophen, the main ingredient in Tylenol, and autism. But local autism advocates say those statements without strong medical research to back it up can be harmful to those working towards solutions and for those impacted by autism. President Trump said pregnant women should stop taking Tylenol. He claims it's led to an increase of autism. Several research organizations and medical professionals have said there is no consistent link between the drug and autism. These include the Autism Research Institute, the World Health Organization, and the American Academy of Pediatrics. Rebecca Thompson is part of the Autism Society of Kentuckiana. She says blaming people for conditions like autism takes away from actually finding solutions.
Instead of looking for like what caused it, then you look for how you can help families.
A spokesperson for Norton Healthcare said they encourage pregnant women to talk to their doctors before taking any kind of medication. We'll be right back. Thanks for sticking with us here for Sunrise Extra. 3 men have been arrested, they have been convicted, and now they are in prison for the disappearance and presumed murder of Crystal Rogers over the past decade.
we've been speaking to Till Ballard. He's Crystal Rogers' grandfather. Till also lost his son, Tommy Ballard, who was trying to solve his daughter's case. Till agreed to sit down with us and talk about the case from his family's perspective now that this big chapter of this case has closed. He just wants answers that weren't given during the trial. Wave News anchor Myra Ansari shares more during this Wave exclusive interview.
Till, first I want to say thank you for talking with us today. I know that this is not easy for you. Tell me how you're doing. How are you doing?
Okay.
Doing okay. Tell me why you wanted to talk today. You've kind of kept quiet for a while, but
Well,
why was it important today?
You know, you've asked me before. I kept turning you down. I said, well, I told Betty, I said, you've asked me so many times, it's time for me to talk to her. And, but, you know, I'm not the only one that feels, you know, to talk. I want to keep Crystal's name out there. And she was a good person, raised 5 children until she got murdered. And every time you'd see her, she had all them kids with her. I don't know why she was murdered. We don't know where she's at. If we could just find her, it'd be a good closure for us. But I hope that one day that Brooks will tell where Crystal's at for his own good and for Eli's and Crystal's other children. But because, you know, Eli hadn't had a mother for 9 years. And it's time, if they could find Crystal and get her rest in peace at a burial place, you know, where they could go visit her grave, you know.
That's important.
But we pray every night that he'll tell where she's at, you know. There were so many people involved in her death. We don't know who done what to her. We just know that she's gone. And the FBI said that Brooks murdered her. But there was other people, the Lawsons and other people involved in it. So Lawson's involved in moving her car.
During the trial, Till, were you hoping to get more answers as to what happened?
Oh, yeah. I was hoping that Shane Young would ask him, you know, how they killed Crystal and where they took her body, you know. But that didn't come out. Just like Sherry said, she's wondering if Crystal had begged for her life and see her kids, you know. But I don't know why Brooks wanted to get rid of her. You know, she was a good person. She kept his books and everything, got his rent. And I don't know what it was over. Maybe Crystal had seen something or heard something, you know, that he had to get rid of her. But Sherry said she told her a week or so before she got killed that if anything happens to me, Mama, said, Brooks done it. Said, I got it all wrote down. And Sherry said, I wish I'd asked her what it was, but said she didn't, you know. But then Tommy, he searched. That man searched day and night to find Crystal.
The next big questions all lead to Tommy's case what happened with him and who's behind that.
Right.
What do you hope for that?
Well, I hope they find whoever killed him, you know, and prosecute him. You know, there's people got ideas who done it, but, you know, it's got to be proven, and they got to be 100%. You know, I asked state police not too long ago, I said, will y'all ever make an arrest on Tommy? He said, well, we got to be 100%.
But if you could say anything to Brooks Houck and the Lawsons, what would you say, Till?
Tell us where Crystal is so we can have a proper burial for her and for her children. You know, they owe that. They owe that to Crystal and their kids. They owe that to them.
Do you think he's ever going to talk?
He don't have nothing to lose. He's already got sentenced to prison for 20 years and plus life in prison. He don't have anything to lose. maybe it's because of spite. I don't think he liked Sherry for the way Sherry was she stood up to him. But he don't have nothing to lose. And if the Lawsons knows, they may not know where Crystal is. Maybe just Brooks and somebody else. But
during the trial, how would you describe Brooks's demeanor during the trial and the sentencing?
he looked straight ahead. We've seen him swallow a couple of times and bat his eyes a couple of times. Just sit there straight ahead. Watched everybody that spoke against him. Didn't show no remorse or anything. Sherry sat there and begged him to tell her where Crystal was. And he just sat there looking straight ahead. Like, no, I done it and nothing you can do about it. That's what he played that game for 10 years. I done it and nothing nobody can do about it until Steve Carey come along, the FBI, and done all that work day and night to prosecute him. He's the one who put the handcuffs on him.
What would you say to the folks that have continued to show their support to you?
Oh, they're great. They're great people here in Bardstown. And I've had people call us from New York, different places, and talk about it and hope before they found Crystal, before she was, they found her. Before they prosecuted Brooks. Everybody, the day after the sentence, we came back from Bowling Green on Friday. There must have been 300 people around this courthouse up here. Yeah, calling and cheering and had a lot of pink on.
Did you have any fears or concerns during the trial?
For me?
For what the outcome could be?
Well, yeah, because I'll tell you why. They claim that Butler, is that his name? Brian Butler. He's supposed to be the best lawyer in the state of Kentucky. When he got up there and said, you can't convict without a body or crime scene, I thought, oh, it's all over. It's all they're going to get out of this. But when Brian Butler sat there, he talked so long, the jury got so aggravated and half of them went to sleep. Anyway, because he kept talking. Anyway, when the jury deliberated, they came back and they wanted to hear, what was that guy's name? Charlie Gertley.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to hear his testimony over. And when they heard that over, I think they put the nail in the coffin. They knew that. And then when they deliberated, we all went out. So they came back with a guilty verdict. Then they had to go back and deliberate how many years, how much time. Then they had some guy from the pro board or something. Anyway, he got up there and made a speech. Then after that, when they came out, and you could see on the camera, Brooks was sitting in the middle. This woman was sitting beside of him, and Butler was here, and another lawyer was here. They said, life without prison. Boy, Butler just dropped his head.
Eli never knew his mother. He never knew your side of the family.
No.
Tell me about what you would like him to know.
That someday he could come and see us where we could be with him too. Like when he was, when he was 2 years old, he would come to the house and we had a teddy bear and he'd get up and pat his lap. But yeah, I hope he realizes, and I think when he gets older, he'll figure out what happened to his mother. I really do. And of course, Brooks' sister's got full custody of him now, Rhonda, which he needs to stay with them because he's been with them ever since Crystal got murdered. But
do you think he's safe?
Safe? Oh yeah. I think they think the world of him. Yeah. But like I say, when he gets, when you go to school around them other kids, they're gonna say, "Well, what happened to your mother? Who killed your mom?" and all that. So your daddy killed your mother. So I think that he'll figure it out.
You mentioned, and I don't know if you want to share this, in the past 10 years, you've seen Eli how many times?
I've seen him a couple of times out at Bluegrass Seed where Brooks was in there, and he was all 4 or 5, and I'd shake hands, but he'd shake my hand. But after that, we didn't get to see him very often until we run into him at Walmart. Yeah. He's a good-looking boy. He's nice. He was nice and polite as he could be.
Mm-hmm. Does he? I know that you probably wish that you would be able to get to know your great-grandson a little bit more, and he would have known his mom and grandfather.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hope someday he'll come around. When he gets old enough, I think he will.
Till, how do you all carry on day by day?
Well, we work, she works. I mean, she does homework and I build houses. You just gotta keep going on. You know, you can't sit down and just grieve, even though it hurts you. You just gotta keep going. But you never get it off your mind. It's
on who?
Trenton. He was with Tommy when he got killed, this boy. And just like, those, you never get up. You think about it day and night, but there's nothing you can do about it.
What do you think Tommy would have thought of the ending to this?
Oh, he would have loved it. Yeah, Tommy knew all along that Brooks done it, and he would have really been thankful the FBI and the state police had solved this. But yeah, it's a shame what happened to Tommy. He didn't quit searching day and night.
Do you think that the trio will ever comprehend how much they hurt your family?
I don't think he cares. No. Steve Lawson, he was supposed to have got $50,000 to help him move her car. Of course, that probably didn't last him very long. But no, I don't think any of them has any remorse. At all. The way they acted. If they did, they told where Crystal was. They'd have told what happened. I don't think any of that family has any remorse.
What's next, do you think, to happen in all of this?
Well, I think they're going to start heavier searching for Tommy's killer. And I think that they're 99% who done it, but they got to have that other 1% because they don't want to get out of the prison. When they arrest them, they want to stay in there. But I think now that everything will focus on Tommy. That don't mean they're going to leave Crystal behind, because everybody's going to wonder where Crystal is.
My last question. Sherry has shown an immense amount of strength and poise throughout this past 10 years. Talk to us about how strong she is.
Oh, I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it and raised them kids and stayed strong like that. And I couldn't have done it. She was so faithful to Tommy. She's a strong woman, to raise those children like she did, give them a good home, clothe them, feed them, and took care of them.
Love them.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Sheila, her and Tori got married back in the winter. She get married in spring. Well, yeah. Me and Terry, we'd go round and round.
Where do you find after something like this? Is there happiness? Where do you find happiness?
Well, really, you can't find too much happiness until Crystal's found and Tommy's murderer is found. And then it won't be no happiness, really, because it'd be a lot of sadness. It'll be happy because they put them all behind bars, and but as far as you know, they got a place to go visit Thomas grave, but not Crystal's. You know that them kids, they deserve to know where their mother is, where they can give her a proper burial. You know, go to her grave, take flowers. You know, but like I say, I don't understand him why he wouldn't tell on Count Eli, his own son. You know, I don't know.
Do you all talk about all of this on a regular basis?
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you all, or all the time?
Oh yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. Wonder. Yeah. Just that 10 years of hell. They not knowing what happened to Crystal, but knowing that Brooks House had something to do with her disappearance. But you know, it was hard. You know, I feel so sorry for them kids. You know, Eli was only. Eli was 2, and Trenton was 11, and the girls just a little bit older. And like I said, they had to go to bed every night wondering when Mom was coming home. You know. Mm-mm. Yeah. They won't.
And thanks for staying with us here for Sunrise Extra. Such an emotional interview there with Till Ballard. I want to switch gears this morning. I'm joined by Wave News reporter Marissa Burke, and we have something really interesting that we're rolling out with Wave Originals called Wave Rewind. Okay, rewind. It's pretty much exactly as it sounds, but I was not aware of what we were doing here with Wave. Kind of dive into what rewind is.
So we are going into the archives and bringing you guys some of our, as I like to say, OG reporting. So some of those pivotal moments in Louisville's history, like when they desegregated the schools, and these kids are, for some, yes, it's a bus to a new school, but it's to a better education. And the way that we covered it back then, it just really reminds us how far we have come. And that's one thing we want to remind people when they're watching these is we are not editing these. These are how they ran when this aired. So this one particular is 1975. So it follows the whole first year of busing.
Wow. And I mean, this video that we're watching right now, it feels like we're, taken back to that day. It feels like just a step back in history, which it quite literally is. It almost doesn't seem real. And to think that this happened all in Louisville.
Absolutely. And another point that I think is so interesting is everybody just learning something, just hearing from a different person or what this felt like for them. Like you'll hear from little kids on, I've never been around people like this before, but I want to stay at my home school. And, we can all relate to just those first day jitters and not knowing what to expect. But you see that sentiment shared by so many, from teachers, even neighborhood associations. So just so many things to cover just in that first one. But this entire series, there's so much to see and learn.
I mean, even just hearing that where you mentioned the kids, like we can relate to that too. So this is almost, going back in history, learning so much where things were so different, yet at the same time, we're all the same.
Absolutely. And then there's some that the weather people would love because we talk about when people were worried that the natural gas was going to go out when it was Louisville hit their coldest winter.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
And then it teaches just like the educational side of that one is, we're learning like, oh, where do we get our natural gas from in Louisville? Like these are questions that you maybe have had, maybe didn't even think about.
Yeah. So what's it like for you to be able to dive into these archives? I know people don't know, but we have this basement where it is just a vault where we keep all of our stuff from the years and years and decades that we've been covering news here with Wave. I mean, that's got to be like stepping back into history. You never really know what you're going to uncover down there. What's it like?
Oh, it's like a gold mine to me.
Yeah.
A lot of people may not know this, but I'm a big history buff. So this is really exciting to learn more about Louisville and also to share these moments with people, because maybe you remember this, maybe you don't remember this, and you just heard the stories, and we are actually showing you what this looked like and what people felt, again, in that moment.
I mean, that's so cool too. So what are some of the topics that we're going to tackle with Wave Rewind?
Ooh,
I gave you a big question there. Obviously the first day of busing, as we're talking about here and seeing in this video with these interviews.
Absolutely. But then we'll also talk about George Rogers Clark, founder of Louisville, right?
Yeah.
Talking about his history. And then, like I said, will the flame go out? That's another one. That one talks about when we had that cold winter and people were worried about if they were going to be able to keep their heat on. Other ones, the Floyd Collins story, Buried Alive. There's a multi-part series about that one. And again, these are Wave original documentaries and our coverage from those moments.
So I want to dive into Wave Originals now too. And I want you to tell us exactly what you're doing with Wave Originals and your role in all of this.
So I will be the host of Wave Rewind, and we really want to just bring people together and explore these moments in history, Wave's history, but it's all of our history.
Yeah. And you're working very closely. I want to give credit to Jeremy Mertz.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Got to give him all the praise on this one.
He is having so much fun. I mean, obviously, we keep talking about this basement. It sounds so creepy, but going down there and just digging through these archives, you all are doing some really impressive work just digging through this, because not all of it is very clearly labeled either. It's kind of a mess. You have to think about, the archives. Yeah, I can't imagine that back in 1950, they were thinking about, what, maybe one day they're going to use this. But yeah.
That's why I keep referring to it as a gold mine.
Yeah.
It's so rich down there of just being able to pull out these moments. Like, Jeremy, he can, put his hand on it. I just kind of just look in awe and start reading the back of the label. So it's exciting. And, just to give people a little background on me and how much I love history. I started a history segment at my previous station. And so to be able to do this at Wave and bring people together and teach them something that they maybe thought they think they knew, but really we're learning together, right?
Yeah, right. Okay, so really quickly, obviously tonight is the premiere for Wave Rewind.
Yes.
When can people see this and all of that? What are they expecting?
So you can go on, make sure you download the Wave Now app.
There you go.
And also you can visit wave3.com, because we're going to be uploading the different episodes. And like I said, there's so much to see and learn. And we're also going to hopefully be able to bring people in and talk about some of those pivotal moments.
That's huge. Okay, so how often are these going to be put out? Do we know that yet?
Oh, there's so much history. There's so much to cover.
Okay. We'll let you know. We'll let you know when they are released. So thank you so much for all of this hard work too. I know it's such a huge undertaking. I'm so excited to step back into history. How long do these episodes?
Well, each one is kind of different.
Okay,
So some of them might be like 20 minutes, some might be 30. Like this one, I believe is like maybe 40 minutes. But again, when I say it covers so many different angles, and as journalists, we always talk about all these different angles to a story. So to see the reporting back then and also kind of take a few notes on, I didn't think about that. Just help me learn and grow.
Interesting. Okay, so we have some rainy days coming up, and I think this is the perfect thing to watch, you know, on your rainy day. Little mini documentary there.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Marissa. I'm so excited to learn more about Wave Rewind too, and learn more about our history.
Exactly. The more you know.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us here for Sunrise Extra. Don't forget to watch Wave Rewind on the Wave Now app. We're going to take a break. Actually, I think we're done for the day. Yeah, we're done for the morning. It's already 8 o'clock. Well, I hope you have a great Wednesday. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. You didn't get the memo, did you? We know this by now. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. We all saw Mean Girls.
Oh, absolutely.
Come on.
October 3rd is my wave anniversary.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You never
gotta
forget
wear
that one. Okay. That one's coming up in a couple days. I'll give a shout out to Mean Girls again on October 3rd. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope you have a great day.